Mazda. Mainly known for the iconic RX-7, it wasn't as iconic within the automotive scene, being overshadowed by other Japanese brands like Honda, Toyota, or Nissan. Since 1968, the brand had been mainly flirting with endurance racing, using cars like the Cosmos 110's Coupe, MC74, or the RX-7, banking on its rotary engine, entirely different from the usual. But, attempt after attempt, the brand never came close to victories, always enduring poor positions or broken cars. Everything began to change in 1983 when, in partnership with Lola, the Mazda T616 triumphed at the 24 Hours of Le Mans in the C2 class. It seemed that things were finally going to improve until the brand returned to normalcy, being crushed in races with cars that couldn't compete with the competition. Like a light at the end of the tunnel, in 1990, Mazda finally hit its stride, using the peak of the Wankel rotary engine inside. The Mazda 787 arrived to change everything. That's if it didn't catch fire in the pits. The failure of the new 4-rotor rotary engine and the fact that in 1992 the new FIA regulations would destroy any chance for the brand to use its experimental engines made the 1991 the last chance for Mazda to not only prove the worth of its Doritos engine but also the worth of its cars and itself. With a lot of hard work, money, and testing, the brand decided to bet everything on what would be the last goodbye to the Wankel engine. The car featured 700 horsepower, previously 900, but was reduced to make room for engine durability. It had a carbon fiber monocoque chassis, independent suspension on all 4 wheels, a 5-speed manual transmission, and ventilated carbon disc brakes, all weighing in at 850 kilograms. In 1991, the car was ready, with updated engine, revised aerodynamics, and track stability. The Mazda 787B was totally different from the last cars that Mazda put on the track. It was their true trump card. To drive the car, Mazda relied on Bertrand Gachet, who started the year in jail for hitting a taxi driver, Volker Weidler, who had already driven the legendary Porsche 962C, and lastly Johnny Herbert, who due to a serious accident almost lost his feet, and therefore had serious driving problems. With 3 unexpected drivers, a dream car, and an even bigger dream of winning, the FIA, already getting its hands on the race, punished cars that didn't follow the future regulations, making the Mazda 787B start behind in the field. However, this wasn't enough to stop the car, which for the rest of the day climbed up the field and reached the only ones who could challenge its victory. The 3 Silver Arrows, the Sauber Mercedes C11, led the grid, being chased by Mazda. As the night went on, one by one, the C11S went to the pits due to mechanical problems, failing to remain as consistent, and it was in this gap that Mazda stepped on the gas and isolated itself in the lead. With Johnny Herbert almost passing out at the wheel and 2 laps ahead of the Jaguar now in second place, the least expected team to win the race did it. Mazda was the first, and for a long 27 years, the only Japanese brand to win at Le Mans. Not only that, the 787B was the only pistonless car to win the race, something that would never be repeated due to regulations. The Mazda 787B may have been a one-year car, but it lived intensely and marked the history of motorsports.